Get it. So what I'm playing here with May is a boundary or station game. It is a very handy behavior for them to know so that you can put them in a location and have them have enough value for staying there. So what does this mean? That means when visitors come over to your house, they can camp out on their little bed and be quite happy to do so. Having a raised bed provides a very definitive boundary for your dog, so it's very obvious when they are off or whether they're on. This one right here was just a little over $20. I added this bathroom rug to it to help when I toss treats on it, it bounces otherwise. It's a lot easier and I think slightly more comfortable for the dog to have a rug on there. So I want to introduce this to you, and I want you to see how I did not cue my dog to get on here, but I rewarded her when she made the choice. So this is not her first time on the bed, so she has had some training on it, a couple sessions. So I'm going to tell her to get it, and then I'm going to wait for her to offer to get back on the bed. And then I'm going to wait for some semblance of her laying down, because that's what I prefer her to do. She has to kind of maneuver herself a little bit because she's sitting crosswise on the bed and not lengthwise. Good. So what I want her to do is to hang out here. And we're just building value right now, so I'm not requiring her to stay when I walk away. I just want her to realize that being up here is a good thing. There you go. So she's kind of antsy and everything, so I'm just going to wait for her to offer what I want, and then I'm going to reward her. I'm trying to be calm. I don't want her to be all excited and trying to offer me different things. I want her just to relax. Good girl. I'm trying to reward her off to the side so that she will roll her hip, but she's still a little bit cranked. Good. The next behavior, which is the reason I'm putting this together for you, it's called the behavior I want you to work on with your dog. And this is a beautiful, beautiful behavior that will allow you to have, teach your dog how to have impulse control in the presence of highly distracting things, dogs, people, events, noises. So, probably one of the most frustrating things for pet owner is that the dog kind of loses its brain in certain circumstances, and you feel like you don't have control. Getting a dog that is responsive to you, even in the presence of difficult things, is something that they have to learn and that you have to teach over time. You cannot expect to have one session with the dog and then have the dog bomb-proof in all situations. Fee back here is also playing a station or foundation game as well. Her station is on the couch. Alright, so the first step in teaching this game, and it's based on the Premack principle, where the dog is willing to do something that's not necessarily very exciting for the chance to do something that is very exciting for them. So, what does that look like? Does your dog get crazy about squirrels or visitors to the house? Well, you can teach the dog that if you want to go say hello to someone or go chase squirrels, you can do that, but you need to control yourself, listen to what I want you to do first, and then I'm going to reward you with the chance to go do that very exciting thing. And so it is absolutely critical that the dog knows the release word to go do those fun events. So that's where we're starting today. This is not going to work unless you teach them a good, clear release word. So it could be anything that you want. Some people use the word okay, some people use the word free, some people use the word get it or break, whatever you want to use. But you just, at this stage, that's what we're going to teach, is just the release word. So my release word for her is G-E-T-I-T. And I actually have several release words for her, but this is one where she is released from what she's doing, i.e. laying on the bed, and she is free to go get the treat in a bowl. So at first we are putting the treat in the bowl, and then we're saying the word and having her rush to go get it. And then I'm going to wait for her to go back on the bed, and we'll do it again. As time goes on, I'm going to do things that might elevate her level of arousal. And that is going to be helping her control herself, showing impulse control under more exciting conditions. Get it! Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Let's spread that out. Nice. Get it. So I'm leaving the part in there where she has a difficult time. She is assuming that I want her to do something else with the bowl, and I'm just letting her figure out that, no, that's not what I want. I want you to get back on the bed after you've gotten the treat. Over time, we're going to add duration. That means we're going to wait a little bit longer after we put the treat in the bowl. And then we're going to say, get it! Good gal, Minnie. Good gal. Nice. So, what happens is that I'm going to block that treat if she leaves before I tell her to. And now I'm going to make her wait just a little bit. Get it! Good girl. So this really defines for the dog what their release cue is, and the fact that they cannot leave beforehand. So the idea is that you're not going to control the dog, you're not going to pull them back or whatever, you're just going to block access to the treat. So she's pretty stuck on the bowl at the moment. Now I'm going to do some things that you're not going to do right away, but I'm going to try to get her a little bit more amped up and have her control herself before I release. So I'm going to ask her if she's ready, and I'm going to start breathing as if we're going to start sprinting. And that gets them a lot more excited. You're going to see her twitch, and we're going to hopefully have her hold herself and then wait for the release to get the treat. Are you ready? You ready? Get it! Good girl! Excellent! Excellent! Much better. There you go. Are you good? You're good. Get it! Good girl! Excellent. Good. Nicely done. So another thing that you could do to get your dog a little bit more amped up is that you can pull back on their collar or push back on their chest. That engages their opposition reflex, and they're a little bit more excited to drive to that bowl. Are you good? Ready? Get it! Was that hard for you? Was that hard for you? Ready? Get it! Get it! Yes! Was that so hard? What's going on in your brain? What is going on in your brain? Good. Good. So I am kind of rushing through several different steps here, but please take your time at each step so that the dog has a clear understanding of what you're doing. The next step after adding some duration is to ask the dog for certain behaviors that they already know before you release them. So it's getting them used to being really excited about the treat in the bowl, but then asking them to do behaviors like a sit or down stand, something like that. And you might notice that your dog gets very sticky at this point, like they can't do the sit very easily. It's because they're in a higher state of arousal. They'll get through this the more you work on it and be able to give you those nice behaviors even in that higher state. Sit. 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 Get it. Good girl. Okay, you notice how sticky she was? And I have to give her some credit. I'm not usually on the ground when I ask her to do these different behaviors. Stand. Get it. Good girl. Excellent. Good. Good. Sit. Get it. Good girl. I caught her before she put herself back in a down, but so this is a challenge. This is a challenge for her. So when the dog is good about giving you one behavior, you can ask for more than one. Stand. Down. Get it. Good girl. She's crosswise on the bed, so it's a little hard for her to do that, the down. Excuse me. Yeah, that's where you're supposed to be. Good girl. Stand. 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 Sit. Sit. Down. Sit. Get it. Good girl. All right. So we had a lot going on that one. She kind of got stuck because she had to scratch her ear. But she got it. So she's a little sticky right now. She's not kind of used to doing it on the bed. And so the confines of the bed are making her a little bit worried about doing things. So if you can get your dog to do these behaviors while staring at a treat in the bowl, then you're starting to build the dog's ability to respond to you in a higher state of arousal. So as time goes on, we may not be on the bed, we might be out in the yard or something, asking the dogs for multiple behaviors before we release them to maybe their favorite toy. Or if you see their squirrel out there, and you before you release them to go see or check out the squirrel, you ask them for several behaviors and then release them to it. When you do that, you are building the dog's ability to respond to you in higher levels of arousal, and that will come in so handy in all aspects of your dog's life. The dog will be much easier to live with, the dog will be much more biddable to you, and it's going to make them more happy because they're going to get a chance to go see these wonderful rewards.